can't believe the Packers dropped Jair Alexander. I can't actually. Not expecting that from the first thing that came out of my mouth, were you?
No. My immediate response to that is you expect too much from the Packers.
Nah, honestly, that guy's been hurt more than he's actually been helpful, and he's just a head case. So I'm not surprised the Packers just dropped him.
Yeah.
For as good as he may be, he's not worth the headache or the money that he's of playing only like 9 games. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it'd be funny when we have all these game reveals to talk about the Packers for the first thing.
Do you want to spend like the first half hour talking about the Packers?
No, because that's really all there is to do. I just also want to point. This is also something that's not gaming related, but it is football related. I love how in past years, ESPN, especially ESPN, has talked about how fucking boring the MLB offseason is, and the NFL offseason has been absolutely nothing up until this point, and nobody gives 2 shits about that. But MLB wants to, like, Ohtani wants to handle things behind closed doors and not have media attention all over him. He's like, no, we don't want that. And I'm like, fuck off. That's my rant.
I mean, we've talked about this before, how, I think, is overhyped the word? It feels like football in comparison to, like, other sports in the U.S. just kind of takes over everything. It's the equivalent of, like, soccer in Europe, or, actual football in Europe.
Yeah, football. And it's just like, absolutely. Just like, there's a reason why MLB is not renewing their agreement with ESPN for showing Sunday night baseball games. I think this is the last year they're doing it.
That's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because I think that probably what will happen is that they'll probably still keep the Sunday night games going, but most likely they'll just be on the MLB network if they can't reach another agreement with ESPN. We'll see though.
It's weird because ESPN is supposed to be the sports network, but every time you tune into it, it's just a bunch of football shit.
It's just football shit. It's just like, and then you have you have fucking Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith talking about NBA basketball, and when I say NBA basketball, I mean the Knicks, because that's all they ever fucking talk about. Not even the Lakers, the Knicks.
Feels like Lakers are the big team. They have like all
Lakers
the big,
are arguably the biggest NBA franchise, if not in my mind, are the biggest NBA franchise.
So when the fuck are they talking about the Knicks?
Because Stephen A. Smith's from New York and he grew up a Knicks fan, basically.
Great. I wish I could.
I'm so glad.
I wish I had a TV channel where I could just rant about shit I like.
I'm so glad.
That'd be awesome.
That's what this podcast is for. But that I was like, I'm so glad that the TNT group with Shaq, Charles Barkley, and I always forget his fucking name. He's like the really funny older guy. Oh, and what was that? TNT
Dancing Six Flags old man.
No. Why can't I think of their goddamn name? I don't know. Kenny. Yeah. That's his name.
Okay.
He's just like they're now a part of ESPN because they bought him out on TNT, and it was to the point where Charles Barkley didn't want, initially when the news broke, Charles Barkley did not want to, because he knew that ESPN would just completely run the show into the ground. So he threatened to okay, well, when it happens, I'm not going to be coming with it type thing, and it would be like just Shaq and Kenny, which, so
without
it's
Charles
Shaq,
Barkley.
but it's just like, but when the whole thing is that they're all just kind of making fun of everyone, like they're all just kind of making fun of each other and stuff like that, and just pounding around while talking basketball at a actual high level because they actually know what the fuck they're talking about. I like how they had a bit earlier, I think it was earlier this year, last year, where fucking Kendrick Perkins or whatever, another former NBA player, but didn't amount to jack shit, didn't do anything in his career basically, and was a very subpar player. He talked I don't know. He said something really stupid, basically, or whatever. And he called out the TNT group or something like that for not knowing anything, basically. So they did a funny bit where they took a punching bag, and put Kendrick Perkins' face on it, and then he's like, yeah, you want to fight? You want to fight? I'll fight you all day. And then they're just beating. There's like they got like boxing gloves, and they're just beating the hell out of it, and it's just like, and everyone's like, that's how awesome. Classless. I'm like, it's funny. Come on, man. I don't know. And then while they were doing that, they were also making actual good points about NBA basketball. And it's like, yeah, how many rings you got between you guys? Because with just Shaq, that's 4. So I'm just saying, who had more success and who knows more about basketball than anyone else? It's really funny. Now they're ESPN. Now they all work together on one network.
That's going to go well.
I mean, they'll never be on the same show together, but...
No, thankfully, yeah.
I just thought it was funny. Now when they do that, they'll be like, oh, we weren't very nice to Kendrick or anything like that. And I'm like, and I can already see Shaq going like, bro, I don't care. Fucking fire me. I've got millions upon millions of dollars that I can literally lay on at home.
Yeah.
Do I give a fuck about making more money? No. I care about having fun because I'm Shaquille O'Neal.
Man, it must be so good. Imagine if we were doing this like early 2010s era. Like IGN would probably pick us up.
Oh, dude!
Be like, hey, you guys are nerds.
We'd be like one of the big gaming podcasts at the time. I feel like.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like there's an alternate future where we were doing this probably like when did podcasting really like start? It was like 08 or something like that. I think is really
it was probably 08, 09.
That was when I think it started gaining traction, right?
Late 2000s or like early 2010s era, I'd say, is like the golden age of podcasts.
It was like early 2000s or whatever is when it first really became a thing, but didn't start picking up until around that, like 2008, like 6, 7s, because RSS feeds were still in the early adolescence at the time. Ugh.
No, that would have been us with our podcast, and now we would be here being paid tens of thousands of dollars to sit here and talk shit about Jeff Knightley.
About how the Xbox show did much better than any of the other ones, pretty much. Yeah. At least it felt more interesting. I couldn't tell you a single fucking thing from the Summer Games Fest that interested me whatsoever, because it was just kind of...
I fucked myself here. You want to just jump right into Summer Games Fest to start, then?
I actually didn't bring it up because I remember watching that, and I just didn't actually,
I mean, there was... Come on, there must have been something here.
Oh, god damn it. I'm sure there was. I just don't remember.
Yeah. Oh. The biggest thing from what I could tell was... obviously, they announced a new Resident Evil, which is that's Resident Evil.
Yeah, that was the big one.
Other than that, a lot of people didn't like Atomic Heart. I really enjoyed it. The fact they announced both the sequel and an MMO spinoff for some reason.
Oh, was there? I didn't know that.
It's called Atomic Heart: The Cube.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I do remember that now.
And it's a FPS RPG MMO for some reason. I'm not sure why they're doing that. Yeah. Other than that, dude, yeah, to people listening, Summer Games Fest was a whole lot of nothing.
It's just like there was nothing that interested me. Like there was nothing that really It's like what was really interesting, I guess. I'm surprised that fucking Splitgate is fucking is still going.
Dude, the fucking I don't know whose idea it was to wear that stupid fucking hat during that announcement.
Yeah, that.
They bought themselves so much bad PR, and they were like,
yeah.
Well, it's nothing political, then wear a different fucking hat.
Well, thank God at least it wasn't red,
I mean, yeah.
Still doesn't help your case, though.
No. I feel like people were having fun with Splitgate, too, and it's like...
Yeah,
Man, you
it's
really
like
guys
it's almost
really
like
killed a lot of momentum with that.
it's like they have the idea of making Splitgate 2 and then just decided that we're going to use this as the now quote unquote best FPS out there or whatever, or how FPSs should be. And I go, calm down there.
The funniest thing about that, they're like, yeah, this is what FPSs should be. We want like classic Halo. We want Titanfall 3 again. We are gonna make FPS games great again.
Yeah.
So we're making a battle royale.
Yeah, we're making a battle royale that didn't really take off initially. Back in what was that, 2018 or something like that, when the first Splitgate game came out.
I mean, Splitgate never had a battle royale before.
I know, but it was like, I'm just saying, it's like no one really cared for Splitgate before. I feel like.
Actually, when it first came out, a lot of people cared about it because they thought it would play out like classic Halo.
Is what I was trying to say.
No, it did not.
It's like, yeah, people you can go play it. That's great and all and stuff like that. But it's like if it has staying power, I think then you have like legitimate reasons for it being like good. Or I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest.
Maybe they know something though. I don't know.
I've seen some gameplay of looks. Yeah, I've seen some Splitgate 2 gameplay. It looks okay. It's another game that I don't think is really gonna stick like at all, especially when you consider like everything coming out within the next year. Like I think, kind of like the first Split game, that game's gonna come and go pretty freaking quick.
Yeah, and especially if you're going to be wearing like hats like make FPS great again or whatever, you're not going to help yourself at all.
Even if you go, well, it's not political. Okay, well, the game just looks mid. Like, what do you want us to? What do you want us to say?
You're also not painting it in a good light for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It's like you put that phrase with just about anything, basically, and everyone's going to be turned off from it. So, I don't know.
With Splitgate, I'm sure it'll be fine, but you got to really look at like everything that's coming out in the next year, including just like multiplayer games. It's like if they had to contend with nothing but like Marvel Rivals and like Overwatch, that'd be one thing. But the fact that they have like, in terms of games that were just announced, like you have the next COD coming out this year. We got this Atomic Heart MMO that was announced during the exact same conference. You have fucking probably GTA Online coming out next year, along with everything frickin' else. I doubt like a Splitgate Battle Royale of all things is gonna stand the test of time. Like maybe if they had like a campaign, I'd be interested. That's what I was expecting them to announce, honestly. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I just end up, ultimately, it's just like when I look at it, I just go, I'm just left with a bad taste in my mouth about, it's like, oh, I'm here to revolutionize. I'm sick and tired of playing the same Call of Duty. I'm like, yes, we're all sick and tired of playing the same Call of Duty or whatever, but like no one ever really brings it up type thing or whatever. But also at the same time, it's like, then make something better than it. And it was like, well, that's what this is. And I go, well, to be determined.
Is it? Yeah. When you talk that much shit, you got to really be able to.
You better bring your A game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I don't know.
Maybe they'll do something right, and you know what? He was right all along, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Do you think that game is going to beat Mario Kart?
How? If a game came out that had Sonic, Minecraft Steve, and Joker from Persona 5 in it, I'd have 2 nickels. It's just not a lot of nickels, but boy, is it weird that it happened twice.
Twice. Dude, Hatsune Miku too.
God damn.
Man. They're
Is
really
Sonic karting is Sonic Team Racing gonna be the Mario Kart killer?
They're trying. You know what wouldn't surprise me? So apparently it's already been leaked that SpongeBob is going to be in this game too.
Yep.
That's not a joke.
No, they showed them driving to Bikini Bottom at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, and I'm a little curious as to who else are going to add in this game, because in the last Sonic Racing game they also had Wreck-It Ralph and all the Team Fortress characters.
Let's do it. Let's just make Fortnite out of this.
Basically, just put everything in there, dude.
You know
who
what?
cares?
You know what, Sega? Why don't you go up to Nintendo saying we're taking Mario? Yeah, we're putting Mario in our karting game. How do you feel about that?
They go to Microsoft being like, "Hey, can we put any of your guys in our game?
Can we put Master Chief in the game? He'll be riding in a Warthog."
Dude, I guarantee they would just be like, "Yeah, sure, do whatever. Put Master Chief in there, put Doom Guy in there, put Marcus Phoenix in there. Who cares?"
Yeah, just everybody. Who else can we throw in there? Can we throw like the Gears of War guys in there?
That's who Marcus Phoenix.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know the name. I don't know.
You know what really kind of made me sad when watching Summer Games Fest?
Yeah.
I think it was when that new Lego game was being shown off. The one with.
Dude.
I want someone to play co-op games with. That's not fair. Can you start doing these games with me?
No.
Because it's like, but why? Split Fiction, this new Lego Voyagers game. These games look so cute, and I need someone else to play them with me.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, there's one other one I was thinking of. Which one was I thinking?
We can talk about
the Strangers of Heaven game. The from the Like a Dragon series.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That one looked interesting. As most of the Yakuza Like a Dragon games go.
Mm-hmm.
It's been set in like the 40s or whatever, which is like oh okay.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure what to make of that one.
Yeah.
Like the vibes were pretty cool. I honestly thought it was Mafia for a little bit.
No, I was like they announced like I remember them announcing like some like project or whatever they're doing. Yeah, and then like Project Century and like literally popped up and I'm like, oh no, it's Stranger Than Heaven, and I go okay.
I think there was Mixtape also got a new trailer. I'm really excited for that game. I think that one's like one of the prettiest games that's been like announced. I think it looks really good. Also, I like that developer's last game a lot too. The Artful Escape.
Oh yeah. God, that's right. That is the same one. That is the same one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's their only other game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was that Summer Games Fest.
Pretty much, honestly. Like, there's not much else I really cared about.
No.
It's like I guess the Resident Evil stuff was kind of interesting.
Well, they didn't really show anything off for the next Resident Evil game.
That's why I was like, they just announced the next one, and then that was it.
We got like hints of a story. They got the lady that played like the big, sexy Dami Mommy lady from the Resident Evil Village.
Yeah.
To announce a sale of all fucking things. They had a trailer
4
for
times
a sale.
Too. They did it like 4 times. And it's like, oh, did you think this is all we were gonna say here? I'm like, well, no. Clearly, you were setting up for a game launch.
Yeah.
So whatever.
So, before we move on to Xbox, there was something that really kind of fucking caught me off guard.
What was that?
Nintendo, I hate you guys so fucking much sometimes. So they announced a new video game today, and they did it in their app of all fun.
Welcome to the life that will be Nintendo.
I hate it. I hate it so much. So if you guys listened to the last podcast, you'll remember one of the few things I remember me saying was, it would be nice if they announced a new Splatoon game, but they're not having a direct. And they announced one in an app. So yeah, the Splatoon game. Splatoon is getting a spin-off game. I forget what it's called. Let me quick find out. It's not going to have like the typical multiplayer. They are getting like updates for Splatoon Raiders.
Splatoon Raiders, huh?
So like they're adding new weapons, new maps and shit to the regular Splatoon 3, and I think this is just like a new single player thing they're doing.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, sure, looks cool. I'm not willing to spend $500 on it, but it looks cool.
It's fair.
It does look like noticeably better than the other games, but it's on the new system. I kind of expected that.
Do you think like any of the Nintendo games that like are gonna come out like for the Switch 1 anymore? Like, do you think they just phase out the Switch 1 like super fast?
Yeah, like immediately.
Pretty much.
Because even with like Breath of the Wild, for a while they kind of supported the Wii U. Like they put Breath of the Wild on that system, but pretty quickly they dropped it out of nowhere. With this one, it's just like, yeah, no, everything's moving over to the Switch too. Either get this or don't get new Nintendo games.
Pretty much.
I don't know. I just thought that was funny. I did not fucking see that coming.
I have a feeling that's not going to be the first time that's going to happen too.
Nintendo, why do you have to fucking be the way that you are? Like, are they just not going to do directs anymore and going to have like app updates and shit?
I have a feeling that they'll probably still do directs and stuff like that. It's just like, but when they're just like, I don't know, we'll throw this out here just because we need to put something out for the day because of this stupid calendar thing we have now.
Okay.
So just like, let's do this because we didn't really get to show off anything or whatever type thing. And we're pretty confident in this or whatever. And I go, okay, fine, but I don't know why you couldn't just do a direct or something like that.
Splatoon isn't a big enough franchise for you guys to give it like a decent gaming showcase?
Clearly not.
Your new console just came out and you don't want to, drum up hype for it. You're just gonna fucking do this.
Yep.
Very cool. So Xbox.
The Xbone.
You want to start right away with the new console? Because it's getting something other than the streaming thing that we talked about last week.
Yeah, like the ROG Ally or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what is it basically just like everything in like one console? Is that what they're trying to put it as? Like it has like the Xbox Game Pass along with like every other like launcher basically.
Yeah, they have a new operating system, what I can called Xbox something, Xbox OS or whatever, and it lets you switch between the Xbox Game Pass thing, Ubisoft's launcher, the EA Games thing, Steam obviously, and I think it's gonna have the Epic Game Store on there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. I wonder how it's going to, how well it's going to work with, in comparison to SteamOS, which is like the standard for handheld games right now.
Yeah.
The big thing about the console announcement is that they showed Silksong gameplay and kind of passively announced that it was going to come out this year.
Yeah, apparently it's coming out around the same time as this thing, which is later this year. And I go, I mean, I'll believe it when I see it, because this is not the first time we've said that everything you see here is going to come out within 6 months. And I go, well, that aged poorly. You think they would have gotten you think they would have gotten a little smarter about promising stuff like that?
Well, it's technically it's not Xbox promising that. It's
I understand
devs
that, but
behind
still.
Silksong promising that.
That's what. Either way, still.
The marketing behind this game is so fucked. I want it so badly.
I was like, everyone wants it so badly. God. It's just none of us are willing to just go like, oh, we're gonna put all of our faith into it's coming out this year, like, because we've just been burned too many times, and you're just like, eh. Well, I'm excited when it does come out.
So, do you give a single fuck about High on Life 2?
No.
Okay, moving on.
Did anyone give a fuck about that? I feel like that was the game that kind of came out, and then just like everyone was like, "Oh, this is not really like anything," pretty much, and so they just moved on.
I heard it was fine, but it's like I heard the Rick and Morty-esque like humor got really, really old super fast. Is all I heard about High on Life.
Yeah.
Is that at a certain point the game just became like really like super unfunny.
Yeah, it was just kind of like it beat it too far in, basically.
And now it's getting a sequel.
Crazy.
You a big Super Meat Boy guy?
I played the game back a while ago.
So you excited at all for the 3D Super Meat Boy game?
It's cool. It's whatever.
Okay. Let's. Out of all the things that were announced at the Xbox Game Showcase, was there anything that stood out to you as like really cool, something that you were really excited for?
What the hell is it called? The at Fate's Endgame or whatever. It's from the same makers that made Spiritfarer. That one looked interesting.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I like that one too.
Yeah, I was watching the trailer of that one and I was just like, oh, that looks interesting. Other than that, I don't know.
I thought the new Double Fine game where you play as a lighthouse looked interesting.
Which one's that?
New Double
Keeper.
Fine game.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Keeper.
I was like, what was it called again?
So no joke. Wait a minute. Wait, before we move on to the one that really caught my attention, do you watch Solo Leveling at all?
I watched both seasons. I thought it was pretty good.
Okay. I have never seen Solo Leveling before.
It's good. There's not a whole lot of story going on, but it looks damn good from an animation perspective.
The trailer just looked crazy for the new game, so I was just curious.
I don't know. Yeah, I was like, I saw that, and I'm just like, it's a 4-player like co-op thing. I'm like, stupid.
So the game that really got
you literally could have just made a game that literally goes through the entire anime basically, and it would have probably been better. I'm just gonna say that right now. It looks fine. I'm sure it's fine. It'll be carried by the name of Soul Leveling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I kind of got burned out. Like I enjoyed the series of Soul Leveling, but man, did I get burned out by people talking about it. It was the anime of the year. It was the anime of the year. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not the anime of the year. It's flashy. Yeah. It looks great. What the hell is the story, and why the fuck are any of these things? And almost every character is just very forgettable, just not remarkable in any way, shape, or form, or whatever. And I'm just like, but they're good enough. It's really what it came down to. Like, I still enjoyed the series and everything like that, but I'm sorry, but Frieren Beyond Journey's End should have won Anime of the Year. It's by far the best one that came out that year. You ever watched that one before?
Frieren?
Yeah.
I've obviously watched Frieren, yeah. It feels like one of those animes that everyone loves to hype up, but is just super mid.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't. I did really enjoy it and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it was like, it got to the point where everyone just talked about how it was the best thing they had ever seen. I'm like, the animation's great and like the fight scenes are really cool, but it's basically just Hunter x Hunter. It really is. It's like they copied Hunter x Hunter, but just made really lot more forgettable characters and stuff like that. So when you really think about it, is it that really that great?
I can't comment. I've never seen it.
You've seen Hunter x Hunter though, right?
I've seen Hunter x Hunter, yeah.
So remember how with the Chimera Ant arc. So imagine the Chimera Ant arc, but take out all of the emotional stuff with like the king and stuff like that, and just say, here's like the big adversity guy or whatever, and like that's basically season 2 of Solo Leveling. You take away everything that's really truly great about the Chimera Ant arc that's not the fighting, basically.
So it was just really cool, like animated.
Yeah, it's really cool animated fighting and everything like that. But for the most part, a lot of the characters are kind of wet blankets and don't really serve much of a purpose unless you're the main character and you go, cool.
So it's Naruto.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. It's like they have all these like S tier hunters or whatever, and they kind of just get their ass kicked, and then Sung Jin Woo just comes in and just like, I'm gonna save the fucking day with my shadow army, and I'm like, okay. It's kind of like my what was it? My whole problem with like what was it, One Punch Man season 2? It's like, man, none of the other heroes got a chance to do fucking anything. Like, I'm sorry, they got their ass kicked in every way, shape, or form, and then Saitama comes running in and kills something in one punch, and you just go, thanks, even though we literally had this thing on its ropes, but for some reason it just got that much stronger. Whatever.
You gotta have Saitama come and do the thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that is the namesake. So.
Sorry, I just didn't know whether you would be like hyped for something like that or not.
It's really, I am. I don't really care for the game too much. It's just like the anime itself. I thought was like I was big on it in the first season. Second season, kind of like I'm just like, I mean, it looks pretty, but what the hell is going on? Like why? Like what? Why are we doing all of this? It's,
Yeah.
It's just like the story kind of just got convoluted or whatever. So, I don't know. The other big thing from the Xbox game show that I think you and me are both excited for is the Persona 4 revival.
Yeah, they did not show off.
No, it didn't show off jack shit, but like.
So we got a little bit of the thing where it's like, oh, the camera's behind the character now. We redid all like the environments, so it's gonna, instead of like the static camera from Persona 4, it's gonna play a lot more like Persona 5, which is cool.
Or like even like 3, where you can just like run around everywhere.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to that, but it's like, aside from that, we didn't really get much of anything. I guess you don't need much for Persona fans to get excited.
No, yeah, just an announcement of a remake is really all you need to do.
Dude, I remember when they first started teasing like Persona 5, how insane people were going over a chair and a red backdrop.
Yeah.
Being like, this is fucking crazy. Oh my god.
That's why it's like they literally could have like if they had something like even if they have nothing for Persona 6, it's like they could have just had like Persona 6 and like a green background or whatever the color scheme would be or whatever, and then everyone would freak out. Like that's all you'd need, and then everyone would just freak out. So I don't know. I thought it was cool though. I'm glad that they're actually doing it though.
Nice.
I hope that they have the golden stuff in it rather than like just exclude it.
I'm willing to bet they are.
I hope they do.
But yeah, no date, no details. I'm sure we'll get more information.
I'm sure we'll get more soon.
Yeah. So, what I was going to mention earlier is one of the indie games that I always passed up on Xbox Game Pass was Planet of Lana. Mm-hmm. And a week or two ago, I was like, I always scroll past this one, and I always find it interesting. So I actually downloaded it. I played through the entire thing in one day, and I thought it was fantastic. The next day, they announced the sequel.
This is true.
So I'm actually fairly hyped for that one. I liked the first game.
Nice. I've never played that game, so.
It's I hate to phrase it like this, but it's an indie game. You know how these things. It's a side scroller puzzle game with really, really, really good visuals.
Nice.
Like most indie games nowadays.
It's true. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Did you see that Game Freak is making a game for Xbox?
Wild. And it's like a Souls-like game?
I don't know if it's a Souls-like. It says, both, and so it looks like it looks both from Japanese folklore and Monster Hunter, but also has robots in it. And, it's crazy that they made a game look this nice, and yet they say they can't do the same thing for Pokemon.
What are you talking about? The Scarlet Violet upgrades from the Switch 2 look so good.
Yeah, man.
Oh
sure.
Man, we'll see. We'll see how. Does Game Freak even make like the Pokemon Legends? Were they the ones that made that game?
No, someone else makes those.
That's what I thought.
That's why they look so good.
Yeah.
What did you think about There Are No Ghosts at the Grand? I really liked that one. I thought that was a fun trailer.
I don't even know what that one is.
It's kind of hard to describe because I'm not completely sure what it is. It's like,
Oh, is that the... Oh, fuck, what was that?
It's in first person. You have a gun that fixes stuff. You go into, like, alternate dimensions and stuff.
Yeah, I remember seeing it here. There it is.
I didn't know what to make of it, but I thought it looked fucking cool. I don't really care much about Invincible, and I'm not crazy about fighting games, but goddamn are fighting game fans eating good. But the thing that... Was it Clockwork Revolution? Or yeah. So the last two big like announcements were obviously, three are Clockwork Evolution, Outer Worlds 2, and Call of Duty Black Ops 7. So we finally got gameplay for Clockwork. What did you think of that game? In terms of visual upgrades for Outer Worlds, they really did not do a whole lot. The gameplay looks significantly better for Outer Worlds, which is, it's nice. I'm looking forward to playing that one. The fucking gall to charge $80 for that game, though.
When you're all about just like, screwing over the, like I was like, screw AAA and stuff like that, and it's just like, that's why it's just like, remember like the whole thing with like, and again, this is Randy Pitchford being Randy Pitchford with the whole thing with Borderlands or whatever. And it was just like, the CEO definitely has something or whatever, and it's like, I'm sure if the CEO of whoever makes Outer Wilds again would have some say. Or Outer Worlds, not Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
It's just like it would have some say. I'm like, no, this only goes to show that they don't have anything. They don't have any say in the matter, pretty much. Maybe I'm wrong though. I don't know.
I'm willing to bet that they did not set that price.
I can almost guarantee they did not set that price.
If anything, this is going to push more people towards fucking Game Pass.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think that's the whole... And the thing is like, I feel like that's the whole point, right?
My big worry is, especially with all these games coming out next year, are they going to try hiking the price again?
Yep. Probably.
God damn it. I do not want to start paying even more for Game Pass than I already do. $22 a month is already a lot of money.
Yeah. We'll see, I guess.
So, I mean, the game itself looks fine.
Yeah.
They really are becoming Microsoft's Insomniac, though. They just put out game after game like there's no tomorrow. Like they just put out Avowed. They're about to put out fucking Grounded 2 and Outer Worlds 2, and apparently they have something else they're working on. Nuts.
I hope Insomniac can release like the Wolverine game within like at least the next maybe a couple of years.
I mean, the hope is next year, right?
Yeah, I think the hope is next year, but we'll see.
You thought that's why I was expecting a trailer to come out this year, though.
Yeah.
Like maybe during the Game Awards we'll get one, but
maybe as we get closer.
Yeah. Dude, the fucking gall of Xbox to have their one last thing be Call of Duty of all things, though. Because it's like
there were people that were watching for it, so.
Yeah, it didn't need to be your last thing, though. Is the thing? It's like at this point, everybody is expecting a Halo game to come out next year. They teased one coming out next year. And it's like, to say, oh yeah, and the return of a big franchise that's been with us since the beginning, and then you cut to Call of fucking Duty?
And not like Halo or anything like that?
No. It's like, and I was like, oh, they're going to announce Halo. It's their one last thing.
All right, Halo time, baby, let's go. And it's Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm. A very un-COD-like trailer, by the way. They're going back to the future again.
Oh, yeah, because that works out so well the first time.
The first, 3 times they've tried that.
It's true. It has been multiple times at this point.
Yeah, they've Advanced Warfare. There's Black Ops 3 was like that, and Infinite Warfare was like that, and people didn't like any of them.
Well, we're running out of ideas to do in the past and stuff like that. And maybe it's time to take a break from the franchise for a little while.
They're never going to take a break.
I know. I understand that will never happen, but I'm just saying. Yeah, Call of Duty makes too much fucking money to, regardless of whether the games are even good or not.
No. Yeah. I don't know. Announcement season.
It's here. It's went. There was some interesting stuff and a lot of stuff I didn't care about. It's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, I realized that Outer Worlds 2 also got a release date.
Yeah. Out of everything, that's the thing I'm most looking forward to. I really liked the Outer Worlds. And I have Game Pass, so I'm thankfully not going to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
It feels weird to say that, but it is true.
Pretty much.
Is it just me, or did announcement season feel a lot less hype as compared to previous seasons?
I mean, I feel like it's just it's basically gotten to the point where I don't know. It's hard to explain. Pretty much, it's just but for a majority of us, when I was when E3 rolled around back in 2010 or something like that, everyone was so excited for new stuff or whatever, because we didn't have directs or social media, the internet, and always leaking everything that goes out in every which way or form or whatever. Whatnot. So it's and the fact is it's just we can just now announce games whenever. It's it just makes them not as interesting, I guess. I don't know. I think that's just the best way to describe it.
I definitely feel that.
Just oh yeah, we're having a Nintendo Direct over here, we're having a Xbox thing over here, Summer Games Fest or whatever, and I go, and it's cool and it's normal about the time, but if we didn't have one of these every 3 months, maybe they would actually be meaningful. It was I'm not saying we need to go back to just a one time a year thing or whatever type thing. Absolutely not. I think that we're well past that point that it doesn't need to happen, but it's it's just a symptom, and that's the reason why E3 died. But it was we're now past the point where there's just so many games coming out now that you pick and choose which ones you want or whatever. It's they're all interesting, announcements or whatever. It's just what you're interested in, though. It's I don't know, back in 2010, 2012 or whatever, it's the big announcement game or whatever type thing. Everyone was going to play it. It was because everyone wanted to play it. Now it's the big, Call of Duty comes out or whatever type thing. Oh, well, everyone's going to get that already. Outer Worlds 2 or whatever. And I was it's not really my thing. I'll skip it. But it's a big franchise.
Is it just me, or I think it's also the gaming industry is just in a weird state right now? Because in the midst of this big transition to, we don't need to harp on about $80 games, but I feel like the fact that that's coming, and with like the weird animosity some people have towards the Switch 2.
Yeah.
It's just and obviously Xbox is just going full third party now. And I think a lot of people are just shell shocked by that, but it's it is what it is. That's never going away.
I don't know. I just kind of look at it like this. It was for a lot of people that grew for you guys like you and me or whatever. It's like we grew up back when gaming was, finding its foothold. Basically, it's like, yeah, it was old. It wasn't like gaming was new back when we were kids, in like the 90s or whatever. It's just like it wasn't big, and stuff like that. So it's like we were really starting to establish what it's now become to this point, and it's basically a juggernaut. So I look at it kind of like we're the boomers of gaming. Basically, it's just like, I remember when gaming was this, and it was so much better back then, type thing. And it's like, compared to what it is now, AAA games are dog shit. Indie games are much better and stuff like that. And
I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying we're in the midst of like a weird transition period.
Yeah, but I'm saying, that sort of mentality isn't helping things either.
No, probably not. Like, I'm willing to bet there are a lot of people that, watch these showcases and we're just going insane over them.
Yeah.
But
oh, absolutely. Like you get some younger audiences or whatever. People who have gratuitous amounts of times because they don't have responsibilities in life. I remember being that point in my life. I played a shit ton of games back when I was in middle school, high school, or whatever type thing. I raced to get my homework done. I would do my homework during the school day, basically, so I could come home and play video games. That was, and I would spend 100+ hours on a bunch of other games or whatever. I don't have the time to do that anymore, so I have to pick and choose which games I want to play. So when I look at a game like, Silent Hill Requiem or whatever, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't think I'm ever going to play it. It's still cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I look at it. Yeah, it is also just weird that it's just like, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like especially the older gamers are looking at it, going just like, gaming shouldn't be so expensive type thing. You can't tell me you're not making profits. $70 is $10 a game really gonna make that much of a difference? Sometimes it can be the make or break, but I feel like for in general, it's not really going to make that much of a difference when it comes to just you trying to penny pinch it just a little bit more, it feels like.
It's just weird because I remember it was an awkward transition, kind of, when games went from $60 to $70. Yeah. I think that was like the beginning of the PS5 period.
And that's the thing is, the only thing about that is that because it was $60 for the longest time, or whatever, or at least it felt like it was, just like we were kind of like, we almost felt like we were overdue for a, I don't know, price increase, I guess.
I guess so.
I don't know. I think that was also partially just like the media kind of pushed that idea on us, right? Like, I feel like the gaming industry set it up well to the point to really kind of ease us into, it's probably going to be $70 now because games are more expensive to make now, type thing. And like, and I just remember like all these articles that were coming out about how that was probably going to be a thing, and I go, And then for this one, it's like, because it also just like from a short time from we went from $70 to $80, and it's just like, really?
So let's really try and look at this from like an objective standpoint, right? So
yeah,
people are talking about how games are more expensive to make nowadays, which for the most part it is. what I'm curious about is like, is that something that should be? Then this is like goes kind of hand in hand with the kind of surge pricing thing that Nintendo wants to do now. Is that the case for? That's not really the case for every game, like across the board, basically, right? Like obviously, like some games are going to be cheaper to produce than others. That's why indie games obviously cost less. The reason it feels weird for games like Mario Kart World and Outer Worlds 2 is I look at these games and I think, did Mario Kart Worlds really take more money to cost more money to develop than Mario Kart 8 did? Like, did Outer Worlds 2 really take that much more dev time or like that much bigger of a team than like the first Outer Worlds did to really like justify like an $80 price tag? Are we just charging that much because that's like the thing to do now? Like everyone's already expecting a price increase. GTA is coming out. Nintendo obviously just had one. So are we doing it because they're like actually more expensive to produce, or is it because like that's just the thing to do? It's like we can charge more for games, so we're going to, versus like, we're charging more because we kind of need to. Obviously, for games like Final Fantasy 16, you show me a game like that, I'm like, okay, sure, I can understand why that game's $80. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's kind of getting to, and I think you're getting to the point that I'm about to say here, is that if the game looks like it's worth, like, if they put the extra effort and they put the extra time, the game looks amazing, the quality of the product feels higher, then I think it warrants the justification of a price, a $70, $80 price tag or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if the game doesn't look like that, like when you're looking at Mario Kart Worlds, is it really that much different from Mario Kart 8? I mean, there's the open world, I guess, and somebody had to put all that shit in there, but it's like, it's really nothing. I mean, we were watching Brendan play it yesterday as we were like, sitting around or whatever, waiting to start D&D, and I was like, I'm watching this going like, I mean, it's just the race tracks that you can just drive around on. And that's it.
It's cool, obviously, it is what it is, but
it's like, but is that really necessarily worth the, extra $10 or whatever?
Yeah.
And particularly considering how much leverage they're going to get out of this fucking game.
Mm-hmm. Especially if they like have paid DLC for it, it's like,
yeah, that's it.
If they start giving away stuff for free, that's one thing.
Sure, yeah.
They won't.
No, absolutely not. They're going to milk for everything it's worth.
And that's the other point when it comes to $80 games. It's like, well, inflation, games cost more to make money nowadays. Well, nowadays there's also more ways to monetize video games is the thing. And if you're going to have a video game that costs $80, and I hate bringing this up because I feel like we've talked about it again, but it's true. If you're going to have an $80 game and you're going to you're going to have like outfit packs and like character packs and, all this other...
in general, yeah.
Cosmetics and all this other bullshit, then no, you don't need to charge the extra $10. At that point, you're just charging more money to make more money.
Yeah.
And if other game studios were doing what Nintendo is doing, and I kind of hate defending Nintendo, but it's like, the new Donkey Kong game is not going to be $80, and they were, doing a case-by-case thing. That's... With the Outer Worlds 2 charging $80, they're very much setting the standard of that's not what they're going to do. They're just going to charge $80 for every game, like mainline new game their studio's bringing up. And this isn't me even saying like Outer Worlds 2 looks bad. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks fine.
I don't see why they're charging more for it though, because in terms of like graphically, it looks identical to the first Outer Worlds game, which came out, in like 2021 almost?
That sounds about right. So I remember it was like, it felt like it was like a COVID type game or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like it came around there. Somewhere around there, I'm sure.
That was before even Microsoft acquired them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Outer
I remember
Worlds. 2020.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you guys improved the gameplay, and I'm sure this, is going to look like marginally nicer. And maybe this is just a me thing. Maybe I'm the crazy one here.
Whenever
maybe Randy is right.
Right. Whenever we get into this, like, don't be inflating Randy's ego over there. You don't want to be doing that. Anyway, but like whenever it comes to like this, like our game is too expensive, overcharged type thing or whatever, it really comes down to, and what I will always come back to the argument is, a game is worth whatever you think it is worth. If you think that you're going to get $80 worth of enjoyment out of it or whatever, I'm sure that's how a lot of people were looking at Mario Kart. Well, it's like, well, I'm going to put hundreds of hours of this and then just have fun and play with friends or whatever type thing. And it's like, then sure, yeah, it's worth the $80 or whatever type thing if that's what you're willing to pay. But say like a game like Outer Wild. I always want to say Outer Wilds. It's Outer Worlds. Different game. It's just like you look at it going like, well, I don't want to spend $80. It doesn't look that like I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but like I don't think it's gonna be worth the $80 to me. And I go, well, then you can go Game Pass or whatever type thing. And I'm like, well, I don't really. If I'm paying 20. I'm like, yeah, I'm paying it for just Outer Worlds then. Then it's like, but then if I don't stick with it, then I'm not going to have it anyway. So it's like, might as well just buy it at that point type thing. Then I go, maybe I'll just wait for it to go on sale, right?
I am almost positive that this is Xbox's whole angle.
I know, I'm just throwing out examples out here.
Yeah, I'm going to let you finish your point, but then.
Yeah, but it's just like, whenever like new games come out, if you don't think it's worth the price point, then don't buy it. If you don't think you're gonna get that much enjoyment out of it or whatever type thing, like you're like, I want to play this type thing, I don't want to pay the price tag that's the $8 price tag on it, just wait. As somebody who plays games years after they come out, I'm gonna tell you right now, the amount of money you could save by waiting and playing other stuff at the time this comes out, and it's like, well, then I'm gonna get spoilers and stuff like that. Then I'm like. That's you, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like I think the games industry and social media especially, it feels like you have so much FOMO, right? Like you are so afraid of missing out on the cool things, right? Like I really want to play Expedition 33, and I want and everything like that. I really want to play it. I hear it's very, very, very good and stuff like that. I'm willing to spend that $50. I'm just broke at the moment, so I don't have $50 to spend right now. But
I can relate.
So that's why I was like, that's partially why I'm not playing it right now. But at the same point, it's also just like I'm just lazy. But it's like I want to. But it's like the amount of people that I feel like that first weekend happened when Expedition 33 came out. Everyone saw how amazing the game was, and then everyone wanted to rush to get it, and that's great. Good on them. That means that everything's done right and everything like that. The game is great and everything like that. Everyone's promoting the game perfectly and everything like that. But it's like, now imagine that with like, Pokemon ZA or Legend ZA or something like that. And they're like, well, I don't want to spend the money for it, but everyone looks like they're having so much fun. It's the fear of missing out. And then you see all these social clips and everything like that, all the YouTube videos talking about how to efficiently, catch Pokemon or something like that, farm shinies and stuff like that. And you're like, fuck, man, that looks so good. I'm going to spend this $80 fucking dollars. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Social media creates so much FOMO. It really does. And I fucking hate it. That's why I don't do social media. I don't know. It's also the best. If you want to avoid spoilers, don't go on social media too. I was like, I don't know a damn thing about Expedition 33, but and I'm glad for it. I don't know. That's my rant.
Yeah. Now, though, that is 110% Xbox's angle. They're banking on people being like, well, I don't want to spend $80 on this game. Come on to Game Pass. You can play it that way. It's like, okay, yeah, you finish that game. but there's a bunch of games on here. Why not just play those? And like a lot of these subscription services, they bank on people just either forgetting about the subscription or being like, well, I already paid for it for the month, so I guess I'll try watching this, or I'll start playing this, and then you have it for X amount of years, without canceling, and it always annoys me when I see people like, oh, well, I'll just get Game Pass, I'll play it in a month, and then I'll cancel it at the end of the month. No, you're fucking not. I'm willing to bet the number of people that actually do that I could count on a single hand. Like, there are so many people being like, oh, let's cancel it at the end of the month. Yeah, sure, dude. And then the next Xbox game that you only want to pay $20 for is going to come out, and then you'll subscribe again. With most of these people, they just, I'll just keep paying for it. It's whatever. And I hate it, but that's how they get you. You don't fucking own anything. And that's what every movie distributor and games distributor wants nowadays. It's like, just keep paying for subscriptions. We'd like it when you guys don't own stuff.
The fact is, as well,
to rent it.
The fact is, as well, there is services that will help you unsubscribe from unknown subscriptions that you currently have, and I'm going like, really? Are people
are people that forgetful? Yes, they are.
It's one of those moments where I sit there and just going like, I am amazed with the laziness of humanity. But I shouldn't be that surprised. But I am. It's like if I was like, I think the last time I subscribed to one thing just for a month and then unsubscribed from it, I think was Netflix to watch the live action One Piece.
I'm gonna probably have to do that in November to watch season 5 of Stranger Things. Netflix is too fucking expensive. I don't want to pay for Netflix.
No. Yeah, I was like, if there's like one thing I want to watch or whatever, like One Piece live action or whatever, I guess it would be also an excuse to actually go watch Arcane season 2. Then I remember that's what I did. That's also what I did with for that. It was like there was the Black Clover movie I wanted to go see because I heard it was actually really good.
Yeah,
it was. I liked it. I'm kind of hoping that it will mean that the anime will come back. I really hope. But that's been years at this point, and there's been no news, so sad.
I mean, that's the whole thing with the movie and TV now, though, right? It's like no one pays for cable, obviously, and in terms of we're not going to talk about this; it's on the list, but dude, I tried to buy the newer Mission Impossible movie, Dead Reckoning Part 1, before the new one came out. Quite literally, the only way, the standard, 4K Blu-ray, barely exists. They printed, almost none of them. It went out of print, within the month that they released it. And the only way to, get a legit copy is through, a $60 to $80 steelbook for one movie?
Jesus.
It's just the future we're heading in. You will own nothing and be happy about it.
It's pretty wild to me to think that do you think and this can be just all physical media too, but not just DVDs, CDs, it can be games and too as well, with just because digital, everyone's all about the digital because we don't have to have a bookcase full of movies you don't really care about or watch all that often type thing. It's all there just right in front of you, or because you don't actually buy things, it's all on the streaming services now, that eventually somewhat similar to where vinyls are currently, that eventually everyone's gonna want to bring back discs at some point.
Or I guarantee you that's gonna. You see people showing off their DVD collections and stuff. People are obviously at some point gonna want to bring it back, but kind of with vinyls, it's going to be just like a collector's thing, and that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, for movies and, games, you can buy, like, special editions and steelbooks and shit, but it's like, if you want to buy just, like, a standard video game, it's becoming harder and harder, or just, like, a standard movie especially.
Yeah, and I know we talked about it with the Switch 2 release or whatever, but the fact is the little physical card things they have are just keys to buy the game, just to digitally get the games now. Mm-hmm. Even Nintendo did away with it, and you and me were both very convinced that they were not going to do that yet.
I thought they were going to be the last holdouts.
Same, and they were the first ones to just, nope, gone.
They weren't the first. Xbox was the first. PlayStation is gonna start doing that. I guarantee damn quick. By like next year, I think that's how all their games are gonna be delivered.
When like the Wolverine game or whatever it is, the next like big release for PlayStation, like the next God of War or some shit or whatever, is like, oh yeah, there's gonna be no physical copies, all digital and everything like that. Buy the collector's thing, it's gonna have the steelbook, no game though. That's just a digital code.
That's how basically all games have worked for forever though. It's like, how many games come out and they just don't function without the day one patch?
Yeah, that's true.
It sucks, but that's just the industry that we live in now.
Yep.
You will own nothing and be happy about it. Mm-hmm. Just don't worry about it. Just what's that phrase? Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Well, and the fact again, then the big thing with like the terms of service being changed on the Switch 2, where it's like, oh yeah, if you're caught modifying your Switch 2 at all, you brick it because you don't own it.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, they can't actually do that, right? But then you go,
can.
Well, you agree the terms of service. Yeah, the terms of service nobody fucking reads. Guess what? You probably should have read it.
I'm willing to bet that's how a lot of these services work. Like, I promise you, like I'm willing to bet there are tons of people that like have big like digital movie libraries, and it's like, oh yeah, I have all my movies stored on this one thing. I can just stream any of them. Cool. What if that service just goes away? What if that website shuts down?
Mm-hmm.
What? It's like, well, I'm sure they'll transfer to another service.
Nope.
No, they fucking won't. You have no guarantees there. They could just shut it down and you lose all your shit.
Yep. And all that money you spent on all this money you spent on those digital copies of the things, yeah, it turns out you never owned them to begin with.
They just go away. I was like, well, can you download any of these movies?
Nope.
Well, no. You don't really own them. You pay for them, and it looks like you own them.
Uh-huh.
You don't own shit.
Yep.
That's why I think that's why the two of us have been like such sticklers for physical media. It's like, yes, you actually own the thing you buy that way. There's a game. The game exists. It's right there, and you can play it whenever you want. You have a movie. You can just put it into any Blu-ray player and watch it whenever the fuck you want. It is there, it exists, and no one can come take it from you. But with any of these services, with any of these like providers, they could shut any one of their services down, and you just lost your entire movie or game library. Like, all of that goes away. I think, like, did Google Stadia do a thing where if you bought a game on Stadia, it just transferred over to Steam or something like that?
I think they did that. They worked that out when they were shutting it down, the service. I'm pretty sure.
I think like that's ultimately like the exception though that proves the rule. It's like, yeah.
I think that was also because that they didn't want to just leave people high and dry on that one. And I also think that people were threatening lawsuits with it too. So if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure there were people threatening lawsuits if they weren't given copies of it on Steam or something like that, or whatever service they wanted it for.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And then you have all those poor bastards that were like, "You promised I could play games on my phone. I don't have a good PC."
Oh, those poor suckers.
Oh man. Remember fucking Google Stadia? We're not going to talk about that.
Dude, it feels like a fever dream, right?
Yeah.
Real fast, just because it was something I thought of. Is Amazon Luna still a thing?
No, I don't think so.
They had to have shut that down.
Here we fucking go.
Yep. It just took us down a fucking path. Good lord, it's still going.
So yeah, it's a cloud gaming thing. You can stream Fortnite, Fortnite, it looks like. Wow, this is the shittiest streaming service of all time.
Yeah.
My frickin' god. You have a couple Sonic games and Saints Row the Third.
Yeah.
Saints Row the Third. You're advertising that you can stream the game Saints Row the Third, a game that came out in like 2012, Lawn Mowing Simulator, and Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. There's also Cars Mater National, System Shock 2. Not the System Shock 2 remake, mind you. The original one. A game called, no joke, The Adventure Pals.
Hell yeah. I just remember that was like a thing that was like shown off or something like that, I remember, and then just like nobody gave two shits about it, and I'm like, is it still going? Is that a thing that's still... Yep, the answer is yes. And do you think that Amazon loses a lot of money and doesn't realize it? Oh, probably.
Yeah, no, this totally seems like something I'd be willing to pay $10 a month for.
Yeah, totally.
You guys don't get Rocket League, but you get Rocket Racing. You can play Fallout 3, the game that you can also play on Xbox Game Pass. Oh, you know that thing that can also stream games to you?
Yep.
And has exponentially better games?
Yep.
Oh, but you don't get fucking Garfield Kart and Bee Simulator on Game Pass. Oh,
shit. Garfield Kart? Fuck. Well, you got me. You sold. Amazon, take my money.
Why is this a thing? This feels like they have a cloud gaming service for primarily shovelware. Why?
I don't know, man.
You had to bring us down this rabbit hole, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah,
God damn it.
I just wanted to ask myself, is it still a thing? And the answer is yes. Somehow, some way, it is still a thing. Does Amazon probably lose a good amount of money on it? Probably. Do you think they give a fuck? No, because they're Amazon.
I actually disagree. I think they're losing nothing on this.
Yeah, probably.
It does not like...
They don't put anything into it, so it's...
I was going to say, it doesn't look like they're investing much in this at all.
You know what? You're so right.
It's like, we need new games. Put System Shock 2 on there. When did Okay, I'll let you go on. I want to see when that game came out.
Oh, God. That's scary. So remember when, like, Netflix announced that they were doing games?
We need games to put on it. Cool. We got a hot new release. This game that came out in 1999.
Hell yeah.
What the fuck, man? Okay, I'll let you... What were you going to say? I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
I was just curious. I'm like, is Netflix still doing, like... Like, remember when they announced a bunch of games or, like, game studios that they were doing?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that still a thing?
I seriously doubt it, but
it looks like it's now just a bunch of like mobile games and shit, and like that's pretty much all it is now.
That's always what it was, yeah.
But they were like trying to make AAA games for a little while there, and I think they just canceled them all probably.
I mean, you got like
Is there a fucking Peppa Pig one?
Peppa Pig. You got Singles Inferno Choices. What is this? Street Fighter 4.
Good lord. Well, I'm glad we went down this rabbit hole of Netflix games. Is it still a thing? And the answer is pretty much no. But I don't know. Who gives a fuck?
I think I heard somewhere that they're releasing a new Squid Games game next year. Which
cool. You want to talk about a franchise that felt like it peaked in the first season and now nobody gives a flying fuck about it? That's Squid Game in my mind.
I'll be honest. I think that show was overhyped to all hell. I think, especially the season finale was really bad, and I think just the rest of the show was, I don't know. I thought it was mid.
I've never watched it, so.
So it's one of those things. It's like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of money on the line, but you can die. Playing all these different games like red light, green light, this weird cracker game, and it's like,
yeah.
All that's fine. A million things exactly like this have been released before.
Yeah.
So I don't know why this is popping off.
That's why I was always confused about it too. I'm like, it's like I feel like, you know, it's always the thing or whatever. Like they're doing. Is season 2 out? Did that happen? Basically,
Yeah. No, that one's come and gone. I think they're coming. The season 3 is coming out now.
Yeah. Ugh. I don't know. Felt like to me Squid Game is the perfect representation of everyone overhyping the shit out of the first season, and then it's just nobody giving a fuck about it after that.
I think the reason it got as popular as it was is because it was basically the first time something like that has been really brought to the States. It was on Netflix, but it's in places like Japan, this kind of thing exists and has come out many times before.
Do you know what also helped? I feel helped the first season as well. Is that it came out around towards it was
COVID?
The back half of COVID or whatever. Or at least it was 20. It was because I'm looking at it first episode came out in September 17th, 2021. So I'm just that's you know, we're all stir crazy COVID time basically. So it's just everyone in social media is talking about Squid Game, everything Squid Game, and I'm like, no, okay. So and then everyone just returned to normal and going, oh yeah. Also, what is it with Netflix taking 3 years to make a sequel of any fucking thing or another season?
Know. Yeah, that's what's really gonna Stranger Things season 5 is gonna be rough because so many of the actors just look so old now.
Yeah.
But going back to Squid Game, I don't think it's not that bad, but it's whatever. It's not a series I think should have been as big as it was.
Yeah.
And for anybody that really, really likes Squid Game, try watching the movie As the Gods Will. It's like Squid Game, but better. And it's actually interesting.
What about the Mr. Beast games, though?
Dude, I did not watch that, thankfully. I watched somebody, who did, go through and watch the series. It was so boring and stupid and terrible. Half the games were luck-based, and half of them were just stupid, ridiculous bullshit.
So, Alex.
Yeah?
If you were forced to watch one of these two things I'm about to say, is you have Mr. Beast games or the first 50 episodes of Boruto, which one would you pick?
50 episodes?
50 episodes.
The Mr. Beast games. It's at least shorter.
All right, how about the first 25 episodes of Boruto?
How long are the episodes of the Beast games again? It's something I have to legitimately sit down and watch, right?
Yes.
Oh my god.
But
you know what? Boruto is less mean-spirited. I'll watch Boruto.
All right.
Because I remember there was this part of the Beast games where it was these guys and this girl, right? Like hundreds of people were competing.
They're like 40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, I'll deal with Boruto. Who cares? But with the Beast Games, I remember like they had way too many contestants. First of all, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking inviting that many people on, because you couldn't focus on any one contestant. And it's like there's one group that they focused on. It was like these two brothers who it's like the object of the game was to convince one person to leave. It's like, what the fuck is the game there? It's like, yeah, the game doesn't end until one of you agrees to go.
Okay.
And they just sat there and like mocked and bullied her relentlessly, and like she was like on the floor crying, be like, oh yeah, you're never gonna be able to do this, you may as well just leave now. And she does. Mr. Beast comes up and he is like, yo, that was crazy, I can't believe you guys did that. And it's like, yeah man, neither can I can't believe that you allowed that. And it's like, you would think for a game show like that, they would have like challenges like Survivor, right?
Nah.
Like, you know, you have to go actually do something interesting and exciting. But a lot of the games are just like, okay, here's a group of people. One of you guys has to convince the other to leave. And it's like, why? Okay. You have all of this money. I remember this one section. So do you know anything about the Beast Games?
Nope.
At all?
Nope.
There's this one section where it's like, oh yeah, instead of the money, there's an island on the line, right? Like you can win your own personal island, and it's the Mr. Beast goes, okay, so who here wants to win their own private island? No one raises their fucking hands. It's like he's like, and he's just sitting there awkwardly, like anybody want to win this? Your own private island, guys. It's like, yeah. If you were given the choice to win a private island, would you go for it at all?
No.
It's like,
the only reason I go for it is to sell it instantly for ridiculous amount of money.
And how are you gonna go about like selling a private island?
That's a great fucking question. I feel like that's way too fucking difficult, so it's just not worth it.
It's like there's maybe a handful of people on planet Earth that may want that.
Just go,
and it's
just like hit up Jeff Bezos, and I'm sure he'll be interested.
And if you can't sell it to those people, it's like, cool. Do I have to pay taxes on this? Because obviously I can't go there. I'm not going to be able to do shit with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's property you own, so yeah.
And it's these three people that awkwardly were like, sure, I'll go for it, I guess. Why not?
Why not? Sure.
From what I heard, it was just like the most boring and tepid and awful game show of all time.
I can believe it.
Why did we go on ranting about the Beast Games?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Okay.
We were talking about Squid Games or whatever, and then it was just overhyped shit. Yeah, no. We got off the rails somewhere.
Mm-hmm. As we usually do with this show. Out of all the things I was expecting to fucking talk about today, I was not expecting to talk about Squid Games. Or Beast Games, I mean.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, we're at about an hour and a half. There is one more game announcement that I want to talk about, though. I'm not sure you're going to be interested in it at all, but we got more gameplay and, like... We have an idea of what FBC Firebreak is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And I just like it because it's Alan Wake shit, and I love that franchise so goddamn much. And it's another co-op extraction shooter, man. It's like, what are you going to do? At least there's, like, no FOMO. There's going to be no, like, weird battle passes or whatever. It's, like... You know, you get what you can get.
Yeah.
It's whatever. And compared to the other ones, I like the franchise, so I'm more interested in it, I guess. But it's... I don't know. I can't really see that game going anywhere. With, like, most audiences.
Yeah, I feel like it'll hit a player base. We'll see about it, though.
basically, people that really like Alan Wake 2 and Control will probably be interested in this. Yeah. Outside of that, though, it's like, I think some streamers will play it for, like, I don't know, a few weeks. A little
while. Yeah. Just a little while.
So. This feels like a game that just is... Remedy wants to carry them to, Control 2 whenever that game's coming out.
Yeah. And just kind of, like, throw it out there to see if anyone will be interested in it or whatever. Will it take off type thing?
Yeah. When is Control 2 coming out, now I think about it? Because I think we got a release date for it. I think they have. We know that's what... So they're working on that and a Control sequel and the remakes to the Max Payne games they're working on right now, aside from FBC Firebreak. I'm almost... Yes, it is in full production. It was announced in November of 2022. There is not a release... No official date has been announced, and else suggests a potential release window of 2026 or 7. So the next 2 years it's coming out.
Okay.
I don't know. I just felt compelled to say something because I really like Remedy.
Yeah, no. I always forget that's like, oh yeah, that's the game made by Remedy. I always forget about that.
They're making a co-op shooter.
Yeah, that's weird. I think that's why I always tell myself that it's just like, oh yeah, this is Remedy making this. I'm like, because it's a game that you would not expect from them.
No, not at all. I like that they're trying new things though. Yeah. I think we talked about it last week. It's like it's always good when these developers try shit.
It's like even if it doesn't necessarily work, as long as it's like not a huge money loss, which I can't imagine. Even if it doesn't do all that well, FBC Firebreak is going to be costing that much.
No, I honestly think it'll do as well as some of their other releases. Yeah, potentially better since you'll have the whole. It's a co-op thing, so streamers will obviously want to get in on it. Yeah, I'm not sure if they'll get free copies or is it free to play?
Not a clue. I don't know if it has a price point.
It's going on Game Pass, and it's coming out in 7 days, so...
Oh, I didn't realize it's coming out that soon.
Yeah. I assume it's a game you're going to have to pay for, because they say there's not going to be any, paid battle passes or whatever.
I can't imagine they're going to charge a ton for it, though.
My guess is max $30, probably
I was thinking anywhere from
maybe.
$20, $25, $30, somewhere in that range.
That's what I'm guessing,
anywhere from $20 to $30 if I had to take a guess.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I do have one last question for you in reference to all the game announcements. So there was a lot of gacha stuff that was announced this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting DLC obviously for Zenless Zone Zero. Same thing for Genshin Impact. I think 3 other new gacha games got announced this year.
Dude, Persona 5 X is coming out for worldwide.
Is that a gacha game?
That's a gacha game.
Is that what's gonna get you into gacha games? Do you think?
I'll play it for a little while, see if I actually want to, actually put time into it or not. But we'll see.
Because it's always interesting to me because I avoid them because of the gacha genre, and the reason they're called that is because they thrive on shit like FOMO. From what I hear from the players is that it's just a huge time and money sink.
Yeah.
But they always look so good. They look really pretty.
Yep.
So, I just wanted to ask, have you ever been tempted by gacha games before?
What was... I played for a little while. What was the game called again? It was
Genshin Impact?
No. It was like it was a mobile one.
Genshin Impact is mobile.
Well, it was like it was like AFK Arena, not Arena, like Journey or something like that. I don't know what it was called.
I think there was a game called AFK Arena.
Yeah, but I think that was like an actual game. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, it was AFK Arena. Never mind. I played this one for a little while, and then I just kind of got bored of it. Just logging on, doing the same shit, and then logging off. And it's like, that's usually the point when gacha games lose me.
Wait, I never kind of lose you.
You never really spent. I was like, I've never actually spent money on these types of games or anything like that. Like, not real money, at least. So it's just like you hit a point where you either just have to grind the game a bunch, or spend money. And I was like, I'm not spending money. There's no fucking way I'm gonna do that. So I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna do this for the next like 6 months, and then I can finally do one more cool thing and get like this one other cool thing, so I can get a little farther into it. And I'm like, all right, now we're back to grinding for another 6 months, and you go, well, this ain't fun anymore.
That's one of the reasons I've always kind of been scared of gacha games, because gotta remember, I'm the guy that paid Blizzard money for Overwatch skins.
Yeah.
So it's like, if these games do a bunch of that, then I'm gonna give them a bunch of money and then regret it like maybe a day later when I decide I never want to touch them again.
Yeah. No, I spend too much money on just card games in general, so.
Yeah.
Between Magic and Flesh and Blood a little bit. Although, man, do I not care about fucking high seas.
Is there a pirate-themed Flesh and Blood thing coming out? I think we talked about this.
Yeah, it's come out now, and like people are playing it and stuff like that, and it's fine. From what I gather, I have been watching a lot of it. It's just like the price for High Seas is like so much higher than every other like set they put out, and I'm not really sure the reasoning why. And it's like, I don't really care about any of the heroes, so I'm just like, I guess I'm just gonna skip this set, because I'm just like, I just don't like. I'll buy a couple singles, I'm sure, maybe. But even the expansion cards were kind of not very good. I'd much rather get the mastery pack for Guardians. I think that'll be way more interesting. See if that'll be good enough to make Guardians actually, playable again. Guardians have been irrelevant in the game of Flesh and Blood for quite some time now. So we'll see if, unless you're Jarl, I guess, where even then you're kind of like, oh, I guess you must be good at Jarl because you actually play the damn deck, because boy, oh boy, is it not good otherwise. Just something. I was like, this will be the last thing, and I think we'll call it there. But it's like, because Flesh and Blood just announced like a bunch of new like bans and stuff like that. Like Count Your Blessings is officially now just banned out in general, which is probably a good thing, along with a bunch of other cards. But they're also, because Aurora hit Living Legends so unbelievably fast, they're changing how Living Legend points now work.
Oh.
So now it's like, if you are a hero from the newest set, you accumulate Living Legend points at half the pace that you normally would, just so that way the hero stays in the game for longer than just a set or two. And they go, I don't dislike that, but usually if a hero is really popular, it also means they're really good. And the whole thing with like why everyone wanted Miss Vale to go out faster than they did, basically, was that they were incredibly powerful and debilitating to other classes. So now imagine that you release a very problematic, class or whatever. So now the response is to make it good, to make it not say it's good, they're just gonna have to ban cards. And I'm like, I don't like that idea. I think the Living Legend points are fine. I think maybe you could move the threshold up a little bit more, if you want, if that's something that they're really concerned about. But just saying, oh, now you get half the thing or whatever, and then as time goes on, then it's like 2 times the amount to try and incentivize older heroes to reach Living Legend faster. And I go, I think I'd rather just stick with it normally and then just increase the threshold, like I said. I think that would have been better. But then keep the current ones that are on LL, just keep them LL. Please, for the love of God. I don't want I don't want Enigma to come back. I don't know. That's my whole 2 cents about it.
Yeah. I do really quick want to say that you are absolutely right in terms of like the high value cards for the Final Fantasy set. Tifa's really high, Lightning's really high, and it looks like the most expensive card in... Oh, never mind. I was going to say the most expensive card in the entire set was Cloud Midgar Mercenary, but no, that appears to be Sephiroth.
Yeah, the Sephiroth fabled hero or whatever. I know the VV card was really expensive, and now it's, I think, gone down in price recently, which is a good thing.
How much is the Buster Sword right now?
I don't know. They're still pre-releases.
So. 38. Okay.
That's honestly better than I thought it'd be.
A lot better.
I'll be honest. It's way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, right now the most expensive card in the entire set is Sephiroth.
Yeah. If you don't include the traveling chocobos.
How much are they going for?
Like 1,500 or whatever, but those are like the special versions of the cards. But I think even the traveling chocobo is still like...
Oh, you're talking about like the different colors and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, that's why I said they're like the special editions, basically, of them.
Yeah.
No, it looks like VV's probably still the most expensive, like, single card. Just from quick peek. If you're not including other editions. It's a VV Ormthur or whatever his name. I don't know. It's the card it's the card that's gonna break standard, probably break modern, and probably break Commander as well, just because Storm and being able to make infinite mana very easily.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That I'm upset. Yeah. I'm upset looking at that.
There's a reason why people say that this is probably going to be the next like biggest CEDH commander, and I 100% believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, remember when I said what's going to be the Final Fantasy's One Ring? VV.
I did not fucking expect Vivi to be the One Ring.
That's what I said.
We both thought it was going to be the Buster.
I thought it was going to be the Buster Sword or Sephiroth. Now, don't get me wrong. Sephiroth Fabled Soldier is pretty nutty, considering it can make emblems and it's in from the Commander Zone, so you can't really. So you could just keep getting more and more emblems. Having a Blood Artist emblem that is uninteractable is insane, but the Vivi is literally like, oh hey, I'm just gonna win the game with this 2-card combo because I can make infinite mana and then just grape shot you because I have infinite mana and I can cast infinite amounts of spells. Magic.
Magic.
Do you also love how they in almost every one of the precons as well, they included infinite combos, like 2-card infinite combos?
Yeah, man, gotta love it.
I just thought that was funny. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening to another episode of It Never Ends. We went all over the place today.
Mm-hmm.
Man, can you believe that? Almost an hour and a half ago, my first thing is, man, the Packers dropped Jair Alexander. You ever thought this is where we'd be?
Yeah.
So, be sure to leave, comments or reviews or anything like that in the show or whatever. My brain melted like 10 minutes ago.
If you listen to us goobers on Spotify, be sure to give us a good little rating. That always helps. We're goobers, man. We're nerds talking about nerd shit.
I got goo brain.
I went on a fucking 10-minute rant talking about the Beast games, okay? We're goobers.
Yeah, that did happen. If you're still here, boy, we really appreciate you. I don't know why you're still here, but we appreciate you nonetheless.
We're entertaining. To scratch your own backs. But thanks for listening to us. If you want to tell your friends about us, that always helps. You know, obviously, if you listened this far, thank you so much for listening. Yeah, and be sure to come back next week or listen to some of our old episodes. We talk about a lot of shit.
Yeah, last time we talked about the... if you notice, we didn't talk about any of the PlayStation stuff because we did that last week. So if you wanted to hear our comments on that, just go back to last week's episode.
We always have interesting, weird shit to talk about, and we talk about all sorts of stuff for oftentimes inappropriate amounts of time. Ergo the name.
Look, it's the episode that never ends, and we're doing a great job at it right now.
We're doing an outro that never ends, but everything has to end eventually.
Just like right now. Bye-bye. Did you think we ended yet? Because we're still here. At least I am.
Fuck, I'm sorry.
Alex laughed, but I'm still here. Don't you worry about a thing.
I thought I accidentally pressed the disconnect button instead of the turn camera off button.